I'm going to show you exactly how to create segments within Klaviyo for your email marketing strategy. My name's Gavin. I run an email and SMS marketing agency, and this is all I do, email and SMS marketing. So if you find this video useful, check out the description of this video. There's a bunch of cool free resources, newsletter, new videos, cool other stuff as well. Check it out. Without wasting any more of your time, let's get into the video. So what you're looking at here is a list and segment interface within Klaviyo. Now, I want to talk really quickly because the video is focusing on segments, how to create a segment, but I want to make an important distinction between a segment and a list. A list is static, meaning it is just a static list of people that can have people added to it, and a segment comprises of people whose behaviors match the conditions of those segments. So if we go in here and we click Create Segment, for example, you're going to notice that in order to create the segment within Klaviyo, we select behaviors that the profile has to match to be part of the segment. The list, on the other hand, is different. If I go back and I hit Create New and I hit Create List, see this? Test. And I hit Create List. Bing. It just creates a list for me. Segment, I have to create behavior patterns that my subscribers will match to then be part of the segment. So let's just do this for example. First thing you're going to do is Segment Builder. You're going to give it a name. I'm going to call this 90 Day Engaged. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to select a bunch of conditions here that you believe matches or defines somebody as engaged with your email marketing. So what you can do here is you go what somebody has or has not done. And since I'm saying engaged, I'm going to say it's anybody who's active on site at least once in the last 90 days. Then I can create a condition. Now, when you click Add Condition, you have the option to make it an and or condition. So an and condition, if I add an and condition, what somebody has or has not done, for example, opened email at least once in the last 90 days, the person or the profile has to match both of these conditions to be in the segment. But if I change it to or, they have to match one of these conditions. So and is more restrictive, or is more broad. Or conditions allow you to add more people, and conditions make it more restrictive. So let's continue making this. What somebody has or has not done, opened an email at least once in the last 90 days, or what somebody has or has not done, subscribed to list at least once in the last 90 days, or what somebody has or has not done, clicked an email at least once in the last 90 days, or what somebody has or has not done, placed an order. Placed order at least once in the last 90 days. These are pretty accurate engagement metrics. So if somebody does any of these things, any of them, they will be in the engaged metric. But I'm going to add one more condition. I'm going to add an and condition here. And if someone can receive email marketing, okay, this means they can receive email marketing. So now you'll notice the segment is less. It's more restrictive here. 35 profiles, but if I remove it, I get 863 profiles. So what does that mean? And can receive email marketing. If they've been unsubscribed or if they've suppressed, right, they will not be able to receive email marketing. And in this case, I've suppressed almost all of the profiles in my account deliberately. So the majority of them cannot receive email marketing, even if they're engaged, because they have the and condition. Now notice here, if somebody can receive email marketing, if you have their email address, they can technically receive email marketing. But you can add a filter here because the person has subscribed. By adding this filter here, you're actually making it more restrictive. See, notice my account just dropped. Because in some cases, if somebody, for example, places an order in Shopify, but they do not explicitly subscribe to email marketing, they can still technically receive email marketing. They can receive email marketing, but it is not because they've subscribed. They've given you their email address at the placed order process, but they have not technically subscribed. So if you want to be extra compliant and really ensure that your deliverability is top notch, add this condition here. In the US, from a compliance perspective, you don't really need to do that. Most email marketers, I'm going to tell you right now, most email marketers do not add that additional filter at the bottom because it makes it very restrictive from an email marketing perspective. It makes it harder to get in front of more people. Up to you. If you want to be extra compliant, add because subscribed. And that's how you create a segment. So then when we hit create segment, note you can also add tags to people, right? You can tag this segment if you want. Up to you. I personally never really use that. Create segment, and then watch what happens. Now the segment is going to load, and it's going to comprise of people within it. Now I'm not going to show you who's in that segment, okay, because it's anonymous. But what you can do is you'll see members get populated once the segment is created. You can also see the segment growth, which gives you a report on how much your segment is growing by. Obviously, it's going to be 0 right now because there's no one in it until it loads, and then it'll bump up. And then as time goes, you will see this segment change, how many people get added to it. You can also see the engagement. You can run an engagement report. In this case, I'm not really going to show you that much because there's nothing to run from an engagement report, but it is useful to figure out how engaged that segment actually is. Once you have enough data from both a user perspective, you have enough people in the segment, as well as making sure you have enough emails having gone out to people in that segment, and you can see an engagement report. You can also play around with the settings here, give it the name, and you can actually integrate this segment to your Facebook ads, your Google ads, Pinterest audience, and TikTok audiences. Really interesting, right? Because you can actually create a segment of people who are, for example, high-value customers, how you define as high-value customers, from an email marketing perspective, and target them again with your ads. Another cool thing is you can create, for example, a segment of people who've abandoned their cart in the last 30 days, run a Facebook ad telling them to return to their cart, right? That's where it gets kind of fascinating. If you have a massive database, you can create a segment of people who, for example, started checkout, abandoned cart, or anything like that, and start running targeted ads to that specific segment. And you might see a nice uptick in conversions from those ads specifically when it comes to the segments. A cool thing you can do is you can actually run surveys to figure out why people haven't purchased from like an email marketing campaign perspective, figure out the reasons why people haven't purchased, find the majority or the most common issues, and then try and address them in your ads to people who haven't purchased. So retarget them with the problems being addressed in your ads. Kind of a fun thing to do. I hope that makes sense. This is a very basic video, but super straightforward. If you have any questions, just let me know. Check them in the comment section down below. And subscribe to the channel and check out the newsletter in the description as well. I send out 2 weekly newsletters. I make 2 videos like this every single month. This is all I do, email and SMS marketing. If you found this video useful, awesome. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we will see you in the next one.